Pull-ups are an admirable movement that many people want to be able to do. So I'm going to teach you the 3 main tips that will help you achieve your first pull-up. The first thing I recommend is going to be doing banded pull-ups. Doing pull-ups with a band is going to help you because it's going to actually help you do the movement, right? Like doing lat pull downs are going to help. Doing movements that are similar in the pattern are going to help. Actually being able to perform the movement just with a little bit of assistance is going to help you the most, right? So we're going to start with volume, right? We're not just going to go add a band so that we can do 1 or 2 pull-ups. We're going to add a band so that we can do 6+ pull-ups, probably 6 to 12 pull-ups. So we want to do volume pull-ups. So I would choose a band that's going to allow you to get at least 8 pull-ups to start. So whatever that thickness is for you, right? Like whether it's a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, or an inch thick band, find that band and what's going to help you. Maybe you need 2 bands, right? Maybe it's extremely hard. You need 2 inch thick bands. Whatever that is for you, find that band or the bands that will help you to get at least 8 pull-ups. So we're going to find our band, right? I'm going to choose this 1/2 inch one. And how we set it up, we're just going to tie it up top, right? So I'm going to wrap it around, I'm going to stick it through, I'm going to pull it all the way down. Then when I get in this band, I want to do it right. Like you've probably seen people put it around their knee, and that's okay. It's probably not best though. Putting it around your knee, it's not going to give you the perfect movement, right? We don't do pull-ups. We don't want to do pull-ups with our knees up like this. We want to do pull-ups with our legs straight and in this hollow body position. So what I'm going to do is I want to pull this around the bottom of my foot. So whether you have a box or you need to step on the side of the rack, I'm going to pull this band all the way down, put it at the middle of the arch of my foot, and then I'm going to get set up on the barbell. The goal is to just keep this leg and both legs outstretched in front of me. Also, I want to keep my feet a little bit in front of my hips, right? What this does is this activates my core. So if I keep them behind, I'm going to give you a side angle view. If I keep them behind, my torso and my ribs kind of flare out a little bit, right? So my core isn't really engaged in this position. But when I'm doing a pull-up and I keep my feet in front of me a little bit, I can activate my core so that I'm doing this perfect hollow body pull-up. It's going to train my back as well as it's going to activate my core. It's going to make the movement a little bit harder. So I'm going to stick this band in the arch of my foot. I'm going to grab on the barbell just outside the shoulders. I'm going to keep my feet slightly in front of my hips so that I'm activating the core and I'm in this perfect hollow body position. And then I'm going to perform the reps, right? Like I said, we're going to use a band that will get you at least 8+ reps. My 2 tips when actually performing the reps are going to be go all the way up and go all the way down, right? Your goal is to get your first pull-up. It's not to get your first like cheated pull-up, right? Like we don't want to get our first pull-up to be halfway up and not even extending our arms all the way down. So my goal for you is this rack isn't extremely beneficial for me because it's just not quite tall enough. So I'll really put my legs out in front, but I'm hanging, right? I'm in this hanging position, and then I'm gonna pull myself all the way up and then all the way down. I'm gonna try and touch my chest to the bar and then come to a dead hang position. We went into the technique a little bit here, but 2 common mistakes I see with pull-ups. The first common mistake I see is gonna be the shrugging of the shoulders, right? We're gonna be pulling with our shoulders because we're compensating because we're not strong enough yet in the position, right? So you'll see people that are gonna do this pull-up and they're just gonna kind of pull with their shoulders here first just to kind of get up, right? That's what we wanna stick away from. So if you find yourself starting to do that, add a little bit more thickness to the band, right? Add another band to the movement so that you can just pull and start with the elbows going straight down instead of shrugging up and then pulling down. Another major flaw that I'll see is swinging, right? Especially if you have a bar that's high enough where your feet definitely don't touch. You're gonna see people, if they're not shrugging, they'll be swinging within their pull-ups, right? They're just trying to cheat them, right? They wanna feel like they can get pull-ups because, right, it's an admirable movement to be able to accomplish. They'll start kind of moving and creating momentum to get themselves up there. That's another thing we want to stick away with. If you find yourself doing it, add more tension on the band, right? We don't want to shrug. We want to keep our feet in front of us, and we don't want to swing to get the pull-ups. We want these movements to be controlled, perfect, solid movements that have our core activated and are using our lats. The one time you will see swinging is typically in CrossFit, and that's a whole different movement in itself. I actually enjoy those, like doing kipping pull-ups. It's a harder grip workout. It's a lot more of a core workout. It's just a totally different movement and it's all in together. So CrossFit is a sport in itself, so doing those movements, you're training for that movement, right? We're training to get a pull-up. We're training the strength movement of training the lats, where doing kipping pull-ups and swinging is just a little bit different, right? So it's not bad, just different. My third tip is gonna be doing accessory work that's gonna help your pull-ups. We can do other exercises that are gonna benefit our pull-ups, right? So pull-ups are a vertical pulling movement, right? I'm pulling the weight towards my body. So we wanna do things in that fashion, right? There's horizontal pulls, right? Like dumbbell rows, for example. But to give you a couple exercises that are in this vertical plane is gonna be something similar like a lat grip pull down, right? If you have the cable machine and you're seated and you're doing lat grip pull downs, those are great because it's just upper body. It's just your lats for the most part. So you can really tax your lats on those. You can do another exercise like here. If I'm gonna do, I'll go a little bit off to the side. Like a half kneeling, band high to low row. This is somewhat similar, right? I'm still pulling in this semi-vertical plane and I'm pulling down, utilizing 90%, right? Most of my lats. We wanna mimic movements similar to pull-ups, right? So lat grip pull downs, banded high-low rows, as well as other exercises like core exercises, right? You don't realize how much pull-ups really tax your core. So you heard me talk about a hollow body position. So doing like a core exercise, that is a hollow body, right? So we can train this movement. So if you look at me, and if you were to flip my body up in a vertical position, this is the position that we'll be in when we do pull-ups, right? Doing a hollow body, all you're gonna do is have your lower back touching the ground. I'm gonna lift my feet up about 6 inches, my arms maybe a little bit more than 6 inches off the ground, and I'm gonna hold that. All that is me engaging my core and holding that position. So this is the position that we're in when we're doing pull-ups. So we can train that position as well. So by doing exercises like obviously pull-ups, more pull-ups the better. Accessory exercises like lat pull downs, even horizontal rows, high-low rows, and then accessory core work like hollow bodies. You're gonna be able to prepare your body for the demands of pull-ups. Last and most importantly is gonna be your programming of the pull-ups and of your accessories. You need to be doing them not just once a week. If you're doing pull-ups once a week and you can't do a pull-up right now, it's not enough. You should be doing pull-ups 2 to 3 times a week if this is a major goal of yours. 2 to 3 times a week, plus accessory work that's gonna help you like we talked about. Stay consistent with it. If you drop down into the show notes, I'm gonna drop in a little pull-up program for 12 weeks on how to get your first pull-up. So if you click down below, you'll see 12-week breakdown of how you should break down your reps, your sets, the bands to get your first pull-up. You're gonna hit that 12-week program, you're gonna get your first pull-up, and then what? Right, like you got your first pull-up, maybe multiple. Then we can start adding weight. Then that's when pull-ups get fun. We can start adding tempos, eccentrics, isometrics. You start doing more chin-ups. So then at that point you can show off, you're doing pull-ups, you look good, you feel good, and you're confident in yourself. So drop down, hit that 12-week program, get your first pull-up. Nice. Oh, hold on, let me hit that eccentric. 1,